Hey guys, it's Jansen here and welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be running through one of Helium 10's product research tools that's actually been around for years, but it's relatively underused, whether that be because people don't know that it exists or they don't know how to use it. I'm not quite sure, but this tool honestly is a fantastic thing that should be used when doing product research. It allows you to understand what customers want to buy from Amazon, but perhaps they can't actually find it. So let's jump into the computer and I will show you exactly what this tool is. Now, it is the black box tool, which I'm sure some of you or most of you have probably heard of. But did you know that the black box tool has got multiple kind of like sub tools within it? Most of you that have used Helium 10's tools in the past have probably just used the Helium 10 black box product tool, which is what is on the screen now. If you haven't heard of it, black box is essentially like Google on Amazon. It's basically a search engine where you can plug in various pieces of criteria in order to be shown products on Amazon that meet that criteria. Now, the majority of people, or the majority of people that I speak with anyway, that use Helium 10's tools, they just use this black box products tool and they don't use this tab here, the keywords tab, which is actually, in my view, just as, if not more powerful than the products tab. Now, the way that this differs, this tool, to the products tab is instead of showing you product ideas based on criteria that you set, it's going to show you keywords that customers are using to search for products that's in line with the criteria that you've plugged in. It will be a bit easier to explain once we've actually gone through it and you can see the examples that hopefully the good examples that we're shown. Now, the reason that this is so powerful is that it can give you different keywords that people are using that relate to ideas that aren't actually on Amazon, which can give you a massive head start. So, for example, you could plug in various pieces of criteria into this tool and it could show us that customers are searching for things like thick yoga mat for women or thick green yoga mat and so on, which when diving into deeper might actually show us that nobody is offering that type of product. So let's just actually do an example so you can understand what I'm trying to say. So this is the page that you should be shown. If you don't have Helium 10 yet, there is a link in the description of this video that will give you a discount. It's a fantastic suite of tools that every Amazon seller, both prospective and actually selling, should definitely have. I use it every single day. So let's go through the main filters that you should definitely be filling out. Of course, you can fill all these out if you want, but let's just go through the essential ones. So the first filter is search volume, and that is basically you saying to Helium 10, I only want you to show me keywords that are being used by Amazon customers a certain amount per month. If you are in the UK, make sure you've selected UK in the drop down box here. I would typically be looking at a minimum of 1,000 searches per month. If you're in the US, you can afford to have this much higher because the volumes there are higher. You could probably start off with a minimum of 3,000 or 4,000. So let's just say for the time being, we want to be shown keywords that customers are using at least 1,000 times per month. Then we go to the monthly revenue filter, and this is us basically saying to Helium 10, I only want you to show me the keywords that have a minimum search volume of 1,000 per month and relate to niches that have a minimum amount of revenue on average. So again, this is all going to depend on what market you're in and how much you want to earn. My general rule of thumb is the minimum amount of revenue that you want to be seeing should be 3 times your monthly profit goal. So if you want to be making £2,000 or dollars profit per month, then you need to times that by 3. So let's just do that, shall we? £2,000 profit per month times 3, 6,000. So we want to be showing the keywords that have a minimum monthly search volume of 1,000 and are associated with product niches that make £6,000 per month. The next is the price filter. So my rule of thumb here is we don't want to go so low that the absolute amount of profit that we make per sale is like nothing, but we don't want to go so high that customers have to think about purchasing, and they might click on your listing and then think, I'll come back later, and then they forget about it. So I would typically say £10 up to 30. Obviously, you can play with these filters, but that's what we're going to go for in this example. Then review count, the number of reviews in a niche on average. So the higher that the review count is, can sometimes signal the more saturated a niche is, or the kind of the age of a niche. So if you find that the average amount of reviews in a niche is over 2,000, that could indicate that it's a saturated niche that's been around for ages. Note the keyword there, indicate. It is not for certain. So let's just say that we only want to be shown the keywords with a minimum search volume of 1,000 and associated with niches with £6,000 revenue and a £10 to £30 price point, and a maximum of 500 reviews, say. Again, this can all be changed. Review rating, this is another big one. And as you can tell, guys, as I'm going through all of these filters, all of them have implications on what you're going to be shown and why that might be an opportunity. So review rating, this is an important consideration to make, because the lower the review rating score, the unhappier customers are, right? It sounds like it anyway, because customers are leaving lots of bad reviews. Now, why should you care about that? Well, you should care because that suggests that there could be lots of ways for you to improve on the product offer, which you can hopefully do and then start winning sales. So let's just say here a review rating max score of 4.5. That is still quite high. A lot of good products do have that score, but let's just start off with that for now and then see where it takes us. The next one is word count. So this, again, remember, we're talking about thinking about what these filters mean. Word count, why is this an important filter to apply? Well, if we just put 1 here as a minimum, that means that we're just going to be shown lots and lots of single word keywords, which are generally very, very broad. So it's not going to be particularly helpful to us, is it, if we just get keywords that say things like laptop or cup or whatever. So I will generally put a minimum of 2 here. The kind of more specific a search term is, generally the longer, the more words there will be in that search string. So if you want to, go very specific and maybe be shown very low competition keywords, you could go 3, 4, and so on. This process here is all about testing and practicing and just seeing what works and what doesn't work. I have got no idea if so far this is going to show me any ideas worth exploring further. So that's the kind of essential criteria to fill out. The next thing that I would, typically always complete is the category, like the category choice. We generally don't want to go so broad that we're just shown thousands and thousands of results. So I will typically narrow these down, and the ones that I will go for are baby products, beauty, DIY and tools, garden and outdoors. We can have a look at grocery. That may have got food products in it from big brands, but it may also have other household items in it. So we'll include that. Health and personal care, home and kitchen. Let's see what else. And let's go pet supplies. Those type of products there, and we can also go sports and outdoors. Those type of products there typically contain lots of products that are suitable for Amazon FBA. So they're lightweight, they're not likely to get damaged, they're not electronic, and so on. Again, this is just guidance. You can, of course, consider products in all the other categories, but those I'd say are, kind of the better ones to be targeting initially. So I'm not going to fill out the rest of these filters at the moment. Let's just have a look at what the results show and see if there's anything worthy of investigating further. Okay, so the results have loaded and you can see we've got 149 phrases found. So 149 different keywords that relate to product niches on Amazon for us to consider further. Now, before we dive into what each of these keywords are showing and whether they've got potential. Let me just quickly show you what each column represents so that you can understand the data. So the first is the phrase or the keyword that customers are using. The second is the search volume, so the amount of times that customers are using that phrase per month. And within that, you can have a look at this little line chart that will show you the kind of trend over the past 30 days, 90 days, a year, and so on. Then you've got the average price point in the niche, the average monthly sales, revenue, the BSR, which is the bestseller ranking. You don't need to worry about that at the moment because that is just linked to the number of sales. And then you've got title density and reviews. So the most important ones there are the search volume, the price, the sales, and the number of reviews. And then within actions, you've got a little drop down box where you can easily view the keyword results on Amazon. So let's just have a quick look through this list. You could see that search took no longer than 5 minutes, and hopefully you'll understand or see just how great this tool is at introducing you to possible product ideas to sell on Amazon. So the first one is pick and mix, and that's within the grocery category. As I thought, that's why I was a little reluctant to pick grocery, because it could just show you random branded products like food and sweets and things. This obviously is not really something that we could consider for a private label product. I would generally stay away from ingestibles, products that can be eaten if you are a beginner. So let's move on. The next one is Viagra pills for men, searched for 15,000 times per month by men around the country. Again, this is something that you ingest. It's like a supplement, I suppose. I would stay away from those as a beginner for numerous reasons. So let's just skip past the kind of ingestibles and supplements for now. So that's the next one as well. Magnesium glycinate or glycinate. Electricity usage meter. Okay, so this one's obviously popped up, hasn't it, because of the energy crisis that is kind of rocking the country at the moment. This is a product that I don't really know too much about. So let's just have a look at what the results are showing us and see what we can kind of gather from that. Okay, so the first thing is the number of searches per month. We can see 1,100 searches per month. And I would expect this has just absolutely rocked up lately. And yes, it has. You can see over the past year, it's very, very low, isn't it? And then all of a sudden, the volume, the number of people searching for electricity meter has spiked. Now, that to me is concerning, because if we're going to be building a brand and selling a product on Amazon, we want something that isn't trending or hasn't just appeared out of nowhere. Now, my worry with electricity usage meters is that they'll sell really well for the next few months, whilst we've got the colder months of the year, and where people are going to be conscious about how much they're spending on heating, and then it's just going to die out when the months warm up or when the energy crisis ends. So because of that, you can see that that's basically what this graph is showing us. It's probably a product that I would avoid, but let's just have a look at the results on Amazon. I'm just kind of intrigued to see if this is something that is being catered for. So we click into it and we can see straight away that it looks to be a relatively new niche. So you can see most of the reviews are very, very low. We've got one even here with just one review. And the first thing that you must always do whenever you load the results up is firstly check that the results are relevant and that it's a product that you were expecting to see, and it is here. And then the next thing you want to do is click X-ray button here. So if you've got the Helium 10 Chrome extension, you should have this here, and clicking that is basically going to give you a sneak peek into how much each of these sellers individually are making. So you load that up, and the first thing you'll need to do is just widen the box itself so you can see all of the relevant columns. And then what I do is press filter results and then hide sponsored products from results. So we want to hide any listings that are advertising to be there. So now that we've done that, let's take a look at the results. So we can see one seller here with quite a substantial amount of reviews. 1,000 is generating about £90,000 revenue per month, which is Very, very good. Let's have a look at their sales. So if we just press the sales chart here and go on a year. So historically, they've been selling what looks to be about, it looks to be about 30 units a month, doesn't it? And then as we've kind of gone into the energy crisis of this year, those have really increased huge amounts. So actually, the amount of sales is still quite a bit higher. Well, was still quite a bit higher prior to this crisis than I thought. Now, remember, whenever you're looking at the demand in a niche, you always want to see those, at least 5 sellers making 3 times your monthly profit goal. So we can see that here, can't we? If our goal was £2,000 profit, we want to see at least 5 sellers doing 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 there. So there's just about enough demand there. So this is something that, if it didn't have that cause for concern with the search volume trend, this is definitely something that you could consider further. Why? So we've got the price point, which, on the whole is above that minimum threshold that we talked about earlier. We can see the amount of revenues per month are above our threshold again. And we can see the number of reviews also are actually not too high, which, indicates that it's a fairly new niche, or it's just a niche that has sellers that have just launched and that are achieving success. But as I mentioned, the big kind of like warning sign for me is that search volume trend. So I would actually skip that one. So let's go to the next result, which is dog food toppers. Again, without this black box tool, I would never have even heard of what this product is. I don't know what it is still. So let's have a look. So 1,100 searches per month. Let's have a look at the search volume. We can see that it is trending upwards, and that's okay. It's okay to find a niche that's gradually trending upwards. The thing that we don't want to see is, very, very low growth and then a sudden spike here, and then that's it. Whereas this one is different to the electricity meter example. It's a gradual increase, which is a positive sign. The average price point of about £15.50 is, it's a good amount. It's above our minimum. Then what else have we got? So we've got the monthly sales of 360 or £6,000 per month. So this is all looking quite attractive, actually. And the average review score is 4.3. So it's in pet supplies. So I'm hoping this isn't something to do with food, something that's ingested. It is. Okay, great. So that is something, therefore, that we don't want to sell. It's an ingestible. Of course, you could sell this if you wanted to, but it's just not particularly beginner friendly, is it? Because you've got to find, factories that will make it. You've got to devise ingredients and so on. So let's skip to the next one. This is why it's really important, guys, that whenever you find a product idea, you always vet it before progressing further. You need to consider the implications of selling that product. So we've then got snorkel set. So that for me immediately is ringing, seasonality alarm bells. And you can see here, yep. Let's continue on. I'm just going to kind of skim through these now because there are a number that I can see just aren't relevant. So toilet seats, no, my reluctance to sell that is it's a bit of a bulkier product. It's not really something that you could brand or build a brand around. What else have we got? Fortnite, no, because that's a brand or it's a trademarked term. Pokemon, no. What else? What about gold cutlery sets? So that's got a search volume of 1,000 per month, £27 average price, which is good. It's a good amount. It means that if you're making 30% profit margin, you'd be making just under a tenner profit per unit, £7,000 revenue on average per month, and a review score that isn't perfect out of 5. So this one's looking a bit better. I would be extremely surprised if gold cutlery sets are, like seasonal or trending. You can see they spike up around December. I imagine that's just because it's Christmas. But generally speaking, it looks okay, doesn't it? So let's have a look. View on Amazon. Those results have now loaded. We'll have a little skim down and we'll see if the results are relevant. Indeed, they are. And let's now do our next check, which is verifying demand and that the other pieces of criteria have been met. So the results there have loaded. Filter results, hide sponsored products from results, apply filters. And now let's look at the important columns. So price point, yes, it's above our minimum threshold. The revenue, so remember, we want to be seeing £6,000 or higher. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can see that there is sufficient demand in there, more than sufficient demand. The next thing that I'd like to point out, something that I haven't mentioned, is this column here. So seller, country, and region. And the reason that I always like to pay attention to this one is CN. That tells you that the seller is from China. Now, if you look through this list here and you see there are barely any GBs or US or wherever you're from, that indicates that there could be an opportunity for you to stand out by saying to the customer, we are a UK-based brand or US-based brand, with UK customer service, UK warranty, and so on. Things that the Chinese sellers can't compete with or can't offer. And you can see there's actually barely any British sellers here. So that to me indicates possible opportunity there. And then let's have a look at the rating score so we can actually see the ratings. Whilst Helium 10 before said the average was 4.5, you can see a number of sellers are just not doing well at all, are they? Well, I wouldn't say not doing well, but just aren't satisfying customers fully. So let's just have a look now. This is something that I think there could be an opportunity in. And what I'm thinking now, and what you guys should be thinking more broadly when you're doing your research, is where can I take this brand? If I were to start selling a brand that sells gold cutlery sets, what can I do in the future? And for me, I'm thinking you could you could create like a kitchen type brand that basically revolves around cutlery and kitchen utensils, crockery, and so on. That is the main kind of thing that you need to be considering whenever you are looking at any product niche. Where can I build a brand? Right? We don't want to be creating one brand that just sells one product. We want to be creating a brand that offers a whole host of products directed to your customers, right? That is how you achieve the most success, and that is how you scale the quickest. So gold cutlery sets, that could be our first product, and then we could then go on to launching other types of cutlery sets, crockery, and so on. So let's have a look at the bigger sellers and where they're going wrong or where we could improve. So I'm just going to have a quick skim down. Sorry, I should have actually just checked who the biggest seller was, shouldn't I? Berglander, I think I've got a review score of 4.4. So let's have a look at them. So we click into their listing. We can see that they actually offer lots of different colors, which is interesting. Interesting that they offer that. So I'm going to show you in a moment what you can do to kind of verify which is the most popular variation of theirs. So if we scroll down, we can see the branding and the listing is awful. So this is a Chinese seller, is it? I would have thought it is. So let's just have a look. We've clicked into that. Yeah, it's a Chinese seller. So if you didn't see that, how I did that, I just clicked into where it says sold by. And whilst it says Kyraton UK there, if you click into it and scroll down to where it says seller details, you can see they're based in China. And it's not a surprise, is it? When you click into the description, Berglander brand shop, love me or take me home. What does that mean? Straight away, I'm thinking you could definitely find a way to improve upon the branding. And they've just got random pictures of their factory. Like, very, very poor. So ignoring how bad these are, I mean, this looks to me like it's a product render. So it's not even the real product. You can tell it's fake. Not very good, is it? Let's just have a look at what the bad reviews are saying. Coating comes off, don't buy, last 5 minutes, wrong color, tarnished, and so on. So there you go. We've immediately found ways that we can improve upon the offer just by having higher quality, having a product that looks like that is sold as described. So the color matches the description and so on. All of these are saying that the color is really, really bad. Now, if you do find a product like this, guys, that you're really interested in selling, and it's got tons of variations, my advice is don't launch lots of variations. Start with one single one. and then expand as you go on. And the way to find out what is the most popular variation is by loading Helium 10's tool. So in the top right corner, you can see the Helium 10 button. When you click that, it will come up saying Review Insights, and this pop-up will appear. And what you can do is, I hope you can anyway, this product actually hasn't got, or has it? Oh, it's got tons of reviews. So you click into product variations, and look here, you can see review share, and that's by variation. So there's no way of actually telling which variation sells the most, just looking at the sales data. What you need to do is look at the review count, right? And you can see that gold has a review score, a review share, sorry, of 31%. So out of all the reviews, 31% are gold. So that therefore indicates that gold is the most popular. And then after that, it's black, and then rose gold, and so on. So that is a really good way at helping you to identify whether, what the most popular selling color is. The final step that I would take if I were to be researching this niche further, and you can see, can't you, just how you can spend hours just disappearing down the rabbit hole, is to scroll down to this pop-up here, which you will have if you have the Helium 10 Chrome extension. Press keywords, and what we're going to do now is have a look at what other keywords this listing appears in Amazon's search results for. And the reason this is important is it may give you clues on how to improve upon that gold cutlery set even further. So we've pressed that. Where it says organic rank here, we want to change that from 1 to 24. And then where it says match type here, we want to change that to say organic. Once you've done that, press apply filters, scroll down, and then where it says search volume, click that so it appears in order. Now, straight away, what that is now telling us are the keywords that listing appears for, where it's in position 1 to 24. So it's getting sales. And the most interesting thing that I've just seen is black cutlery sets has a search volume of 1900 per month. So whilst that example there that we just showed, the more popular color was gold, we can actually see that generally customers are searching more for black cutlery sets rather than gold. Not by much, but they are searching more in general. So that is therefore another avenue for you to explore. You could then start looking at black cutlery sets, start looking at the sales there, start thinking whether maybe you want to start selling the black version first ahead of gold, and so on. Let's just have a look, see if there's any other clues. So we've got lots more relating to different colors, 24 piece, we've got copper. It all seems to relate to color. So there you go. You've got tons of things to consider there when it comes to tons of product opportunities to consider when it comes to these cutlery sets. And that all came from that initial quick search on Black Box, which you wouldn't have had you not used this keywords tab. So guys, if it's not clear enough already, I really, really would encourage you to don't just focus on that products tab within Black Box. Focus on the keywords tab as well, because it can give you a level of insight into what customers really want that you can't get from just searching using the Black Box products tab, which is a bit of a mouthful. Now, there are tons of other Helium 10 tutorials on my channel if you're new and you're getting a bit overwhelmed with this. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. Feel free to subscribe and browse my entire back catalog. It's all there. Or if you want exact guidance on what to do and when, you can also join me on my Smashers Academy mentorship program, a link of which is in the below. So tons there to feast on, to enjoy, and to progress with this week. Let me know how you get on in the comments. That is generally how I do my product research and the different things that I think of. So yeah, if you do have any questions, guys, feel free to reach out. And if you need help, message me. I'm always happy to help when it comes to Amazon FBA. Have a great week, and I will see you guys in the next video.